This next guy is our resident fantasy analyst. You can see his weekly show, The Fantasy Football Monsters, on YouTube. Please welcome back to the stage, Scott Gerhardt.
Wow. So are y'all cheering for me? Or are you just cheering because you dodged the injury bug again? Man, it has been carnage. And Thursday night was worse than usual. We lost two big names. Mark Andrews, done for the year. Joe Burrow, done for the year. Even OBJ is now questionable with a shoulder injury. Plus, on top of that, they said Deshaun Watson already might be done for the year. They're over here talking about next man up. It's more like next man down. Forget analysts. I'm getting my fantasy football advice from doctors now. Because I don't care how good his moves are or how fast he is. If he goes down for 4 to 6 weeks, that's still a goose egg on my bench. The team that wins the Super Bowl this year is likely to be whoever has to pull the fewest fans out of the stands and put them in uniform. But injuries do go both ways. Stafford looks like he's back this weekend. Kyler came back last weekend to pop the Falcons in the mouth. I can finally pull Achane back off my bench. I feel like my own team should start an injury report because there seems to always be players on it. It's a big game of musical chairs with my bench. Only when the music stops, someone tears their ACL. It's brutal. But going from getting injured to doing the injuring, can we talk about CJ Stroud for a minute? This rookie is putting defenses on the shelf with bruised egos. Doesn't he know he's supposed to pay his dues? This grown-ass man threw for 470 yards and 5 touchdowns in Week 9. And then he followed it up with a comparatively pedestrian 356 yards and 1 touchdown. Oh, and he threw a pick. His first of the year. Hell, his Week 9 performance single-handedly gave me my first loss in one of my leagues. 826 yards in 2 games. Hell, 325 of them have gone to Noah Brown. I guess someone forgot to tell CJ the Texans were supposed to be bad. Because right now they look like they actually might pose a threat to the Jags. Maybe. But speaking of the Jags, I do apologize to everyone who I convinced to watch the San Francisco versus Jacksonville game. I really did think it would be competitive. Jacksonville had won 5 in a row. They were at home against the Niners team. They dropped 3 in a row. Though I guess in the end it seems like the Jags thought it was a throwback week, so they chose 2020. Apparently the throwback theme was something terrible since that's when COVID hit. Guys, you only have to throw back your jerseys, not your record. And man, I've just given up trying to figure out this league at all. The hottest team in the AFC is now the Denver Broncos. I'm not sure they've lost since I started making fun of them. They sure tried to lose on Monday night, though. They tried. Well, I guess since it seems I have the reverse magic touch, hey, bank account, you suck and you'll never be relevant. I'm not sure Jinx is really going to fix that one. Oh, and the overall hottest team is, wait for it, the Minnesota Vikings. Captain Alopecia just came in Week 9 after having a cup of coffee with the team and beat the Falcons, then stopped the Saints. They've won 5 in a row and are legitimate contenders, just 1 win off of Detroit. Weren't these guys left for dead just over a month ago? Didn't the Cardinals just not realize what they had in Dobbs? I mean, of course they didn't. They're the Cardinals. Oh, and speaking of left for dead, Aaron Rodgers. We all know Rodgers tore his Achilles Week 1. Oh, I'm sorry. We were all told Rodgers tore his Achilles Week 1. A week later, he was talking about coming back this season? What the hell? Cam Akers tore his in July, and it was miraculous when he got back on the active roster at Christmas and on the field 2 weeks later. Cam was 22. Rodgers is 39. If Rodgers came back and played, it would literally be the fastest recovery from an Achilles tear in pro sports history. By a lot. I'm not buying it. Sorry. I don't think he faked the injury, but I think it's way less serious than an Achilles tear. For whatever reason, maybe he doesn't want to go back out in the field right now. I don't know. Maybe he got homesick for Green Bay and only wants to play in frigid cold, so he's waiting until December. Maybe he legitimately can't, and the real recovery time for whatever it is has him coming back near the end of the regular season. Either way, this guy doesn't have a standard torn Achilles. Yeah, sorry, Pat McAfee. Your show's cash cow has some tainted milk. So, who got up early for that Colts-Pats game on Sunday? I'm so sorry if you did. That game was bad enough to cause an international incident. Fewest points by a winning team and fewest points total for a game all year. 10-6. You have to imagine when the schedule hit, the Germans looked at it and you figure those with the means went to the Chiefs-Dolphins game. And if you didn't have the means, there was the Patriots and Colts. Then again, the Germans are the inventors of Schadenfreude, so maybe that much misery at the game kept them entertained. So I suffered a horrible loss week 9. I am still in mourning over Dallas losing to Philly. As a Dallas fan, that is the worst loss you can have, because then you get some of the most obnoxious sports fans in the world talking trash at you. And you basically have to just take it. I basically shut down all my socials for a good 2 days. It's way better for my mental health. But the scheduling gods gave me some happy pills. First, the Giants, which was definitely a get-right game for the boys, as, seeding and Dak went off. Hey-o. Now we get the Panthers. Well, the first thing I had to do as a fantasy player was to get any Panthers off of my fantasy teams for the week. So, yeah, that means I benched Thielen in 2 leagues. That was easy. Now, I can watch what I hope is the inevitable carnage and hell. Since I won't see y'all before the Cowboys' next game after that on Thanksgiving, I want to tell you all what I'm thankful for right now. I'm thankful for Washington's 31st ranked defense, which is now missing Chase Young and Montez Sweat. I'm thankful for the cornucopia of touchdowns Dak will throw, and I'm thankful for the playoff berths that week will get me. Because really, in fantasy football and in life, you want to be the one doing the carving, not the one being carved. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. That's my time. Love y'all.